Hello and welcome back. In this video I'm going to be making a little quick project to organize my model stuff. Mostly little paints and brushes and things like that. And as usual I'm going to be making out of some scrap wood here. This is 1/2 inch Baltic birch plywood from an old project. I just start by taking some measurements here and cutting these pieces in half. I cut both of them at half here at the table saw with the rip fence. And then take it back over to the setup that I want to use on a piece of hardboard as a base, just so I can see how it looks and start marking the sides for ripping. So I take and mark those with the square. I can bring it back over to the table saw and cross cut them together so that if they're a little off, they're a little off together. Line them up with the blade there and make that cut. Totally unplanned, but I'm rolling with that. I mean, yes, I planned this exactly. Now I'm marking the hardboard piece here, just by putting a little quick pencil mark. And I'm actually cutting this oversized, and I plan to run over with a router with a flush trim bit after. So I cut this piece here on the crosscut sled a little big. Now I'm laying out and measuring for the side pieces that are going to receive some holes that I use for a handle. And I've been making a few boxes lately for different things and experimenting with different ways to put holes in the side and what works well. And this was another variation that I'm trying here, just by using 3 holes with Forstner bits. So I start by marking the center line and drilling a center hole here, as I'm showing now. And then I'll offset the holes on the left and right, so there's a total of 3 holes that fit just like finger holes. And I start by just doing that with by eye here, marking a hole a little bit off the side of that semicircle like that. And I do a test grab with my hand, and I didn't like it, so I extended it and made it a little bigger, just by tracing that circle a little farther to the left and a little farther to the right on both sides. Now I test that and it seemed a little better. And now I'm going to use the other piece as a pilot to drill this hole in the piece of plywood underneath. And I repeat that on both sides and both pieces to get the handles cut. Now gluing everything up here. I did some light sanding off camera. Not too much, as this was scrap wood and it wasn't perfect anyway, but just enough to clean up those edges, especially the handles. So I start by gluing up and tacking the corners in here with a pin nailer. And I'm also using these corner clamps just to kind of keep things aligned while I'm working, which made it a little easier using this 1/2 inch plywood. So I glue and tack each corner, and then I apply some glue to the bottom and apply that piece of hardboard that I cut a little big, and I just leave a little room in each direction, and then tack that in place as well with the pin nailer. I was wiping some excess glue off the inside from the squeeze out and letting that piece set up a little bit before I finish it up here on the router with a flush trim bit. That pretty much cuts right to the plywood and leaves a nice flat surface going across. I found this working much better than trying to measure your bottom exactly. Now here's the final piece. I'm just putting all the contents into it the way I want and seeing how it works. It's a very good prototype. I think I might improve on it for the future, but for now this will work just fine. And it'll get me out of all these different cardboard boxes and things that I've had this stuff in over the years. Thank you all for watching. If you'd like to see anything else, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and also subscribe. Thank you all.